Alright, good afternoon everyone. Getting into this beautiful matchup between Chef and Drox in the winner bracket. I'm joined here today by Vordy.
Yo,
how's it going?
well, it's going good. I'm very excited for this match because I think we're at the point in the tournament where a lot of the people left are all-rounders. They're kind of good at everything. And looking at these two players, Chef and Drox, they've both shown the ability to play all kinds of maps, all kinds of types of skill sets really well. So I'm really excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, just gotta trudge our way through the rest of this warm-up, which is a pretty short map, so halfway through already. But yeah, I mean, like you said, they're both very, very well-rounded players, so I don't know if there's really any weaknesses that either of these players are going to be able to pick into, because ironically as well, I think they both kind of don't like low AR that much, but that neither of them are bad at it. So it's kind of a weird dynamic these two players have. I think they're very similar.
It is a weird, like, I think they're both really good at speed and stamina. I think, yeah, they can both play low AR, but that's not exactly their favorite skill sets. I'm not sure if either of them want to pick it, especially when the low AR this week is pretty insane. Like, the hidden 2 is quite a big step up from last week.
It is, however, not reading focused at all. It is just aim, so I don't know, maybe if the players are comfortable aiming low AR, it might be like a good pick. But, oh.
Yeah, Chef looking pretty good in that warm-up. 660k. Pretty tough map. Okay, going into picks and bans. Actually, wait, let me double check what their amps are, because that is going to be important.
A 66666 from Chef. There you go.
Pretty
I
even.
believe Chef has Limit Break and Greatest Defense, and Drox has Trickster, and I think that's Turn It Up. I think that's what the icon is.
I think it's Gambler.
Is it? On the stream. I'm seeing the ones on the stream. Maybe these ones aren't updated on the stream. What does it say on the sheet?
On the sheet, it says Drox has Gambler Trickster, and Chef has Limit Break Greatest Defense.
Okay. I think the logo for Droxus is incorrect then, because that's definitely not the logo for Gambler. But he has Gambler. So we will...
Yeah, and Gambler got a pretty big buff.
Yeah.
From its original week. Went from borderline troll, negative amplifier, to actually being pretty solid.
Yeah, so Gambler now, after the buff, beforehand it was you would gamble a point on the next map pick, on your next map pick, and you would get a 10% score bonus. But if you lost the pick, then you would lose your point that you gambled. So pretty bad for only 10%, but now that's been buffed to a 25%. So actually a lot more usable now.
Yeah, 25% is a pretty big bonus, especially when I think we're getting to the point where FCs are going to be very, very hard. So, because I think the problem with the 10% bonus is the nerves that you get from having to win the map because you're staking a point might cause you to miss, and that miss might cost you more than 10%. So I think at this point, like, you're not really going to be FCing anyway. You might be getting 300, 400k. At that point, 25% is a pretty big bonus, and you don't have that same nerves of having to FC because it's just so unrealistic in one of these picks.
Yeah, absolutely. So Gambler now, although I still don't think it's an amazing, an amazing amplifier. It's pretty okay now. And Drox also having Trickster, which I guess we'll just go through these amps for people who are not as aware of the format. But Trickster's a bit of a complicated one, but basically Drox gets to trap two maps, unbeknownst to Chef, and he can trap either no mod or hidden. If that map gets picked at any time during the match, Chef will have to play it with hidden, if it's a no mod map, and Drox gets to play with no mod. And if it's a hidden map, Drox gets to play with no mod, and Chef has to still play with hidden. So kind of it's in the name really. A bit of a trickster, sort of like a trap card. Yeah.
Pretty scary amplifier, and we have Chef with the greatest defense. So instead of getting 2 bans, he has 2 protects and 1 ban, and he protects DT3 and DT4. While Drox bans Hard Rock 3 and Easy 1. So Hard Rock 3 is the 6.5, very consistent, very long
4.5 minute.
Yeah. It's one of the hardest skill sets to be consistent on, just because you have small circle, any randomness can happen. And banning the easy one, maybe just, it's always a weird thing to ban because it's like, has my opponent practiced it? And if they have, I have to ban it. And if they haven't, I don't. So it's just weird, like, do I have to use this ban?
I think it was definitely an interesting route for Drox to take in this match though, because Chef has not wanted to play the easies all tourney, so I think it was probably well assumed that neither of these players had practiced the easy. Probably could have been left open and probably never would have got touched, but just for safety, I guess, he's gonna take it out.
Yep, and then Chef bans Hidden 4, which is interesting because I would say it's definitely one of the it's not an easy map, but it's one of the easier hiddens for this week's pool.
Yeah. It's Hidden 4 is very reliant on hitting the kind of I don't know what you'd call it in song terms.
Like the
middle section. It's like the middle section of in the map is like where there's like a bit of aim and there's a couple really awkward patterns. I think a lot of the large combos are very reliant on hitting that one section, so it can be a bit risky to pick into. But yeah, it's going to get taken out, and it's going to go straight into No Mod 3 from Drox.
And No Mod 3 this is a very, very challenging No Mod 3. Extremely consistent, just missable patterns everywhere. This whole entire pool is pretty challenging, but I would say this is one of the more challenging maps in the pool. Yeah,
I agree. I think this is one of the harder maps for sure, aside from a couple of the maps that are ludicrously difficult. This is one of the harder ones, aside from that. But for amplifiers, it's just... Only other amplifier we haven't talked about was Limit Break for Chef, which... it's not the greatest amp, but it can be good in the right hands and on a very specific type of map. But it's basically just the highest combo wins, and Chef gets a very small bonus to his total combo when using the amplifier. I believe it's about 20 combo.
Yeah, I think it was 20. Yeah, Limit Break is interesting. I think its use case is more so if you're a player who feels confident in comboing a map, but not necessarily hacking. Maybe something like double tapping a DT2 or mashing through a stamina map. But Chef has good stamina. He can act those kinds of maps. So I'm not sure where he can really use a Limit Break effectively. That wouldn't just be better without not using it.
I think maybe aim could be an avenue, only because Drox, I wasn't as familiar with him as a player prior to this tournament. I don't think many people were. But his accuracy this tournament has actually been phenomenal on a lot of just every map in general. So I would maybe on those more generic maps where Drox is getting 99 plus consistently, Chef could maybe just use a Limit Break instead. But
yeah, potentially. I mean, a good example of Drox is, and this is one of the things I think is going to make this map more interesting is, Chef is normally known to be really, really solid on No Mod 2s, really solid on stamina, but Drox got like 800k, 99% plus on last week's No Mod 2, which was honestly a very challenging map. Although this No Mod 2 this week is harder, it's kind of scary having to pick No Mod 2s into an opponent who played the No Mod 2 last week that well.
Yeah, absolutely. So for Chef, that's going to be pretty scary because, yeah, he loves his No Mod 2s, and I think he's mostly had that slot banned against him in a lot of matchups. So.
Yeah, he definitely has, and we've seen matchups before. I think there's like the Monk, the Dawn, Pepsi Max matchup where both players can play DT, but people, like Pepsi Max pick DT anyway, just picking into their strengths regardless and just hoping it goes well.
Yeah.
Might see a similar scenario here. Chef playing that intro very well in this No Mod 3. This is Drox's pick, keep in mind.
Yeah, this No Mod 3 it's so hard to hold like a bigger combo than like 500 on this map. It's just so many places you can break, as you can see already from Chef.
Yeah.
We're in the very early startings of the map, and you think, oh, there's a bit of free combo in the early sections of the map. It's like, no, there's no free combo in this map whatsoever.
Yeah, if you were just listening to this song, you'd think maybe it's pretty chill here, but nothing here is free. There's so much variety in the kind of spacings and the patterns. You can't really relax at any moment.
Both players are handling this Ki fairly well. Drox gets caught up on those squares there, which is completely fair. Chef gets through them, and if he can hold through the rest of this Ki, which is not an easy task, because a couple of these ending patterns, that one there specifically, he does get through it, but then he overtaps the next overlapping pattern, and that's where this map catches you off. Just consistently.
During that section, Chef was holding solid accuracy in the intro, but he's dropped a lot of it now. And Drox is now in a pretty solid score lead just off accuracy and now combo. Having recovered.
Accuracy from Drox is going to be giving him a considerable amount of score. 3%, which is quite a lot. One of the very difficult patterns right there. Drox gets through it, and Chef finds another miss. So this is now looking very good for Drox on his first pick.
Yeah, that's what you would like to see on a first pick. It is a pretty long map, only halfway through, but both players missing. It's going to be very hard. It would take a miraculous combo. Absolutely ruthless.
It's actually one of the easiest sections of the map, which is
yeah.
It's funny because like it's the solo and it's always the disc spikes, but just for this map is more this section is more aim heavy, whereas the difficulty from this map comes from those overlapping flow patterns. So
yeah, snappy aim is usually easier to do than the flow aimy kind of patterns.
Drox actually snapped that whole thing. What the hell?
And also Chef has built up. He's recovered his accuracy and he's built up a 300 combo. Wait, he's in the
Chef is going.
He can make it back. He's built up a miraculous combo. The one thing he needed to get back.
And the axe. The axe come back as well.
He grew by like 2%. He was on 92 earlier. Now he's on just about to match Drox's. Oh, he tried to cheese it.
Oh.
But both
Chef
players
tried to cheese it. Punished immediately.
Punished immediately.
That's actually cheesable too. It is cheesable, but he's just missed the center of it, I guess. And they're neck and neck on combo, and it's a 20k score lead to Chef. There's not really much in the ending of the map here.
Drox missing there might seal the deal.
Yeah.
As long as Chef doesn't chain miss, I think he'll take this breakpoint.
Yep. That miss from Drox seals it, I think. There's not enough notes in the rest of this map here to make up 35k.
There it is. Solid breakpoint, and honestly very impressive because there was a moment there where Drox seemed to have a pretty big advantage, but Chef bringing that almost 400, 500 combo back in the second half of the map made the difference in the end.
Yeah, Drox had us in the first half. I was looking very convincing for him, but kind of just fell apart towards the second half there. Could have been a combination of nerves and potentially losing some grip, or
maybe even just mental fatigue, man. Like a 4-minute map that requires you to be on your toes the whole time, you just kind of get exhausted at some point. Yeah. Chef instantly picking DT3, the stamina map. I think it's 229. Yeah, 229 BPM, pretty consistent. Nothing too technical. It's just a bit of finger control and just stamina.
Both of these players, I'm pretty sure, can easily FC this map. Maybe not easily, but they both definitely can. Like, they would have FCs in their locals. If they've practiced the pool, they would have multiple FCs in their locals on this.
Yeah, 100%. If they're both playing at 100% power with their full speed potential, I would agree. But it'd be interesting to see if anybody is feeling a bit slow today. Off the warm-ups, which both were pretty speed-intensive maps, Chef had a pretty clear advantage. Be interesting to see if that translates over to this pick.
And this is the kind of thing I think Drox is like. This is the kind of thing I think where Drox is going to be very good at accuracy. We'll have to wait and see if anyone's having any stamina struggles today. Although I wouldn't expect it from either of these players.
Yeah. So far, just the light finger control section with the triple. It's not too bad this BPM, but we're about to get into the long streams. Missing here would be catastrophic.
Make some noise outside my house, just hoping that doesn't get picked up. But
oh
there's
no!
Chef, the catastrophic
Chef
miss you just
missing
mentioned.
So early, right before the difficult part, and if Drox holds, which he's seeming pretty comfortable, he misses.
Actually getting some shakes on these longer streams from Drox, which is usually a sign of stamina fatigue. So maybe running a little thin there, but he does get through it. Not after getting a miss on aim, actually, on a triple, I believe it was.
Both players having unfortunate misses. This leaves it up to either player to take this pick.
Oh, yeah, Drox looks like he's running out of stamina a bit towards the end of these longer streams now.
Yeah, he tanked a bit of accuracy.
Yeah, Chef, though. I mean, Chef is not going to run out of stamina on a pick like this. I mean, this guy, like, FC'd Sun, the Moon, the Stars, like, this guy's... He has stamina for literal years.
Yeah, especially with another miss from Drox. As long as Chef holds on for even like 100, 200 more combo, he should be able to take this. The accuracies are almost dead even, but there's the combo advantage from Chef. Oh,
Chef
missing.
finds a miss on aim again.
But so does Drox, I believe. It's very close. A silly chain miss could tip the scale. Both players are missing more than I would expect on a pick like this.
Struggling on the end of it, yeah. This definitely could be nerves. Especially now that they know it's close. Yeah, Drox pretty unhappy with how close this one was. Yeah, I mean, it's about 60k in it, and feels bad to lose a pick by only, by under 100k.
Yeah, I mean, the break point potential was there. Could have evened up the match after that No Mod 3, but that'll put Chef at 2-0. The pressure is on Drox now to take this pick. This is crucial. You do not want to be down 2 of your own picks this early into a match. Picks Hard Rock 4. So Hard Rock 4 is... This is an interesting pick. It's one of the more comfortable maps in the pool. It's Hard Rock 250 BPM, kind of a speedy Hard Rock, but this is another map I think both of these players should be able to play very well.
Yeah, both going into, at least aside from the first pick being No Mod 3, both going into, I guess, easier maps in the pool. I still wouldn't consider them easy, but compared to a lot of the maps in this pool, DT3 and Hard Rock 4 are definitely, I think, on the easiest side.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, even comparing the DT3 to like the DT2, it's like almost a map, a whole level or two apart in terms of difficulty.
Yeah, this map, I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure this one is coin flip. This map is like, it's very short. There's not too much in it. If both these players are comfortable on Hard Rock consistency and just with this BPM in general, which they both will be, it's not that speed intensive. Really, I think the misses are only going to be found in a couple of those spiky sections where there's like some brutal jumps. But they're still not too bad. There's like 2 of them, I think. And they can definitely trip you up. I think that's where we will see misses.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it's a bit of a coin flip pick. Like, this is not a... Although I feel like Drox would be confident on this map, I think, going into something like Chef. At the same time, how many maps are there where you can be wholly confident that you'll win the pick?
Against these 2 players, none, honestly.
Yeah.
I think any of these could be break pointed from either player.
And
was No Mod 6 banned?
No Mod 6
from Drox?
I don't believe. I don't recall. I think Drox banned Easy One. Oh, Drox missing.
I think No Mod 6 may be one of the only maps I think is probably one-sided to Chef, just because of the raw stamina requirement on that is so high.
It's very, very, very high. Yeah, I can definitely imagine Chef taking it as his next pick potentially. But this is a very short map. We're already about halfway in. That single miss from Drox.
Yeah, that early miss on like
maker.
nothing. And that's going to
Yeah.
be so bad because like you said, this map's so short. And Chef's already got 500 combo, which is over half the map's note density already. Like, he's going to start pulling away so soon just because of an early miss that was really on nothing from Drox. Chef, though, finds a miss on a triple in the top left. Yeah. Drox so
But
close.
Drox, yeah. Drox definitely had a chance there because I think Chef missed closer to the middle than Drox did. Would have given Drox the combo advantage on an FC, but with that miss, I don't think there's enough time. Unless Chef misses now in Drox FCs, potentially.
This ending's missable. There are some jumps here at the ending that are definitely missable, but I think it's too far gone now.
I think it's too late. Yeah, there's not enough time.
Yeah, now Chef would have to miss before the jumps at the end here. Doesn't, yeah. It's already way too much. Wow, Drox is going to be kicking himself from that. He misses in the intro on pretty much nothing and loses the point because of it. Just because of how short that map was. He would have won that point if he did not miss in the intro.
Yeah, especially with the slight accuracy advantage at the end. Yeah, being down 2 of your points this stage of the match. Chef picks No Mod 4.
Yeah, this is very brutal for Drox because he very well could have taken both of his picks, but they just both happen to go the way of Chef just slightly by a small error or a bit of a fumble towards the second half. Chef's managed to take both great points.
Yeah, all of the picks honestly have been pretty close. This No Mod 4, lots of accelerating flow aim.
That's the thing that stings with Osu in general when you're playing tournament matches. It doesn't matter how close you are to taking the point. At the end of the day, it does not matter. Unlike a lot of other games, a lot of other competitive games where you at least get advantages out of coming close. No, in Osu it actually doesn't matter at all. You just straight up lose the point. It's like,
yeah,
it's just so brutal.
You could win by 1,000,000, you could win by 1. It doesn't matter. A win's a win, a loss is a loss. It's almost one of those things where it's like, what's more demoralizing, getting absolutely steamrolled or losing by just a hair thin margin? You would assume it's getting steamrolled, but honestly,
yeah,
it's maybe not even that bad of a feeling compared to losing by such a small amount.
It definitely stings more to lose by a tiny bit. And in a game like Osu where you know that you could have easily hit a few less hundreds and just won the point, but you know, maybe you blinked at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So brutal. But No Mod 4 getting into it. Very kind of accelerating stream intensive No Mod 4 and a couple very funny cut patterns about halfway through and towards the end of the map. Drox going to be finding it really great. Yeah, on these weird sliders, which are very missable.
There's a few pretty brutal cuts in this map.
Yeah, just before the halfway point is the one I'm looking at here for Chef to drop. If he hits that, it's not looking good for Drox. But we are still building up to it now as we get into a few of the accelerating streams. Not too difficult, especially for both of these players. I think they should be quite comfy on these patterns.
Yeah. Oh, but another miss from Drox.
Oh, that's not good. Chef needs to find a miss on these really difficult patterns right here. These cuts.
Yeah, those cuts are very scary. Can Chef get through all of them?
Oh wow!
And he does. Wow. I mean, that's it. That's the map.
Yeah.
Getting through that brutal halfway point with a combo is very impressive.
All these little doubles are all very missable. But,
yeah.
Chef hitting all of them as he makes his way into the second half of the map. No, I was about to say that's the other missable part. I mean,
that is super fair. A slider stream that is also a cut stream.
Yeah.
Honestly, another thing is the accuracy difference. These kinds of no mod 4s with slider velocity everywhere on score V2 and cut streams and all those kinds of patterns. Usually very challenging to act, but so getting almost 98% is pretty impressive.
Chef's looking really good on this pick. Only finding a slider break so far on a very fair pattern to find
the fairest miss in the map, you can say.
Yeah. But will he hit the ending? It's probably even harder than the part at the end of the first half. 2 1/3.
Oh.
Oh, he SS'd that.
What?
Oh, it's accelerating? No way.
Insane. That is a crazy score to get. The only way to realistically beat that score is to get through that slider stream in the middle.
Yeah. Which is doable. It is hittable, but very RNG. Yeah, that was a very impressive score. A very good accuracy there, 97. Not even that bad of a score from Drox. I mean, 300k on that's pretty decent.
Honestly, at this difficulty of the pool, getting 300ks is not not bad at all. But what can you do about that? Definitely the most convincing pick so far. But Drox picks Nomad 5. Oh wait, no. Okay, I was thinking Nomad 6. Okay, I was thinking like Nomad 5 speed map.
I mean,
yeah.
This is equally ridiculous, though.
So, do you want to give a bit of lore about this map?
A bit of lore.
So yeah, this was the Corsace Open 2022 quarterfinals Nomad 6. Now, Corsace Open, this is where top players make super teams and play their best skill sets, right? And, do you remember some of the scores that some certain players got in this map?
Yeah. I mean, this was way too hard for that Corsace pool regardless, but yeah, this was the type of map where there were players like Cookie Z and like Dectopia and Rectagon getting like 100k. So yeah, Cookie Z I think got a 50k.
Cookie Z got 50k. Fancy Lad top scored the entire lobby with like 300k. Malashevsky got 270k. And now this is an ANZT semifinals. Enjoy.
Yeah, so Gala didn't test play it, so here it is. Definitely a mistake, but it's all good. Drox actually comboing this intro finally finds a break. But yeah, anything like a 300 combo on this map is pretty good, and I would say like 150k is going to be like a pretty great score. Drox is looking quite good early on here. He's only found one break. He is kind of popping off. Not gonna lie, his accuracy as well. Finds another miss, but
honestly, anything above 90% on this map is impressive, in my opinion. This is
absolutely
impossible to hack.
Above 90 on this is very difficult. Chef not looking bad either, but Drox is just looking very good. He's getting through like a majority of these patterns. Mind you, he does find a break, usually, towards his end of his combos. Yeah, like there.
Yeah.
But it's looking good. 100k already.
And Drox missing again. Chef's holding a bit of a cheeky combo, but it's just going to be so hard to carry that over for long enough. Can he do it?
Wait, Chef's combo. Does he know this is a Quint coming up? Oh, he hits the Quint.
Oh, missing on that flow aim jump.
Spin. You need to spin. Oh my god.
Oh. Actually, the spinner could be a difference maker here. Drox missing again. The accuracy lead he built up is currently the thing keeping him in the game.
There is a spinner at the very end of this map as well. Chef has managed to take back the lead after what was looking so good for Drox. He's only gotten 30k score in the past 50% of the map. He has fallen apart, I think. Chef is going now, and there's a spinner at the end. They're both matching combos, but yeah.
Similar to the Nomad 3, where Drox is holding an advantage, but kind of gassed out towards the end.
They both have combos here. It's still winnable if Chef finds a break, but will he? Chef needs to find a break now, and Drox needs to hold this. There it is.
And Chef does break.
Spinner? No, there's no way. It's 10k.
There's no way. There's just no way, yeah. And actually, Chef, I think, is spinning even faster. Honestly, like, these scores might not look high for this map. These are very, very fine scores. But the difference just being Chef being able to hold those combos a little bit more consistently
Yeah, no, they're very good scores, to be honest. Like 200k on that almost is that's pretty damn good. And yeah, there's going to be the No Mod 6 from Chef. I assume he protected this.
He did
Wow.
not. I believe he protected DT3, DT4.
Wow. He didn't. I can't believe Drox didn't ban this. Because he was looking like he was running out of juice on that DT3. So I'm worried at what this one's going to look like. Because
this is a lot more stamina intensive, for sure.
It's Grand Senpai map. Descent.
Yeah, a rare Grand
stamina.
Senpai speed map, yeah.
Yeah, and it's very, very stamina intensive. By far the most stamina intensive map of this pool. Also very hard, like the rest of the pool, but it's pretty sick.
Yeah, normally for No Mod 5 at this, okay, the speed map at this point in the pool, you'd expect higher than 220 BPM, but the stamina on this map is really the challenge instead of the BPM necessarily. 220, but it's for days.
Man, I would like to see Drox take a break point because I don't want to see him go out 6-0. I don't think this match looked like a 6-0 from the MP, but
yeah, especially
it's a tall task to take this against Chef. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, quite a few close picks, but so far, Chef looking a lot more comfortable than Drox. This map doesn't really give you much time to recover your stamina.
I don't think it gives you any time at all.
Yeah.
It is just this, like, pretty much the whole way through, and then these aren't even the long streams yet, I don't think. I believe they get longer.
No, I think they do get harder, yeah. But Drox and Chef are both holding a 400 combo.
It's just a matter of when I think Drox is going to start running out of that juice. But both getting through these patterns so far. As you can see, Drox struggling a bit more in the accuracy compared to Chef. That's definitely just a stamina difference.
I think it was also Chef breaks.
Wait a second. If Drox can hold maybe up to the halfway point, he might get enough of a combo going here to pull away a bit.
100%.
Get it over, but
he's taking the advantage.
The accuracy from Chef is definitely offsetting this combo. Oh no, that's not enough. That's not enough.
He needed to hold on for a couple hundred combo longer at least. And this is a long map. We're not even halfway through yet. We're just about to hit halfway.
Oh, and there's a bit of free combo here too. That is such an unfortunate spot for Drox to miss.
But honestly, it's fair. These streams were getting pretty long towards that point.
I think we get into the longer streams now. I'm pretty sure this is building into the longer stream section. I mean, Chef's he's going to be maintaining a pretty comfortable lead now for a bit, but still a third of the map remaining, and Drox is not out of it with that 500 combo. And there actually is a break. There it is.
Oh, yeah, there is a break. I do recall there being one break, and just having to breathe hard at this point.
Yeah. Drink of water.
Yeah.
Go get a massage.
Get a massage mid-map, the massage method.
And Chef gets to revel in the fact that he is currently in the lead with a combo advantage, knowing that if he just holds this combo, he's won the match 6-0. So all on him now, all on Chef to find a miss and let Drox get a way back into this match.
And it's still very close, only a 30k score gap. A miss from Chef, but that's gonna be it. I mean, even if Chef misses, I don't think, barring a chain miss, it'll swing back. Another case where Drox would have won this pick against so many players.
Oh yeah.
Approaching 400k is very impressive, but yeah,
I think Drox wins this pick against anyone else in the tournament except for like Box. Maybe Zintex. I'm not sure how Zintex does on this kind of stamina, but yeah.
But against Chef, it's not enough. 560k, extremely impressive. Winning 6-0. Quite a few close picks, but also quite a few, several decisive picks, especially that No Mod 4.
Yeah, I think it definitely didn't feel like a 6-0. A lot of these maps were quite close. This could
Yeah.
absolutely be a 4-2 or a 3-3 right now, but
Yeah, I mean, I think four of those picks were like decided by like one miss or just like a little bit of trolling at the end. Like the no mod
yeah.
3, the DT3, the no mod 5, um, the Hard Rock 4, all of those could have swung the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, commiserations to Drox there for that attempt at taking down Chef, but unfortunately, Chef is just too strong. And I mean, can't really blame Drox because going into this tournament, Chef, I would say, is like one of the three favorites. The other two being Dummy and Box, and Dummy not being in the tournament anymore. I would say, I think Box and Chef are probably the favorites of this tournament now.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah.
And potentially that matchup could happen next week, depending on the outcome of Box and I believe it's Saya.
Yeah. Oh, and we just got a raid when the match ended.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
100 viewer raid after Chef finished his full course meal there, 6-0.
Yeah.
It's over, guys. You missed the whole thing. But yeah, Drox actually going to be going down to the loser bracket there to verse the winner of myself and a meal bus, which will be coming up in about 2 hours' time.